Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about Grubhub and Seamless be paying. NYC's e-bike swap for delivery drivers criticized as app subsidy. The logistics in NYC versus the remainder of the world are completely different in every way, and it's not surprising. They have their own laws that are dedicated to gig work. They have different regulations and different rules because they're a metro area, and e-bike actually seems like the primary delivery system for gig workers in NYC for a lot of different reasons. And apparently NYC is cracking down on this, and I'm curious to see what that's about. So with that said, we are talking about everything that's being said in this article, how it actually is for Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. A program by New York City that set aside $2 million to give delivery drivers free e-bikes if they trade in unlicensed models is facing criticisms from all sides. Announced in July, the initiative is officially taking applications this week, but not everybody's as happy with the city footing the bill, being dubbed as both a handout to illegal immigrants and a subsidy for lucrative gig economy companies like Doordash and UberEats. Okay, first off, if you're gonna force the gig companies to abide by a completely different system in your city, you could foot the bill other places. Like, don't make that sound like it's that big of a loss for you, especially since we're independent contractors and not employees, and you're trying to enforce an employee mentality upon gig workers in NYC, so don't even start there. I'm never for these gig companies, but I am for calling out bullshit. Second, $2 million to give delivery riders free e-bikes, not $2 million for illegal immigrants. That's completely different. There are a lot of illegal immigrants on these apps, and Trump is really cracking down on the illegal immigrants in the process, and I did not want to make this a political issue, but the reality is that that's going to be unavoidable. So let's not make this about the gig companies making it a handout. This is like either stay in your lane or get ready to foot some bills, because clearly you have no idea what you're talking about. It's one or the other. The Adams administration will hand out over 400 new certified e-bikes and spare batteries this year, according to a recent press release, to help reduce fire and crash risk. Oh, what? So let's pretend for a second that like it's over 400 but it's under 500, right? $2 million divided by 500 is like $4,000 for each e-bike. And I know it's more expensive in NYC, but that also said, that's not even a lot. There have been a significantly reduced number of gig workers in the NYC area. Like it went from over 120 to like 65 million or something like that. And you're crying about getting 400 of those people e-bike when they need it to be there, as opposed to outright dipping on your ass? Oh, poor baby. Currently, many delivery workers use uncertified e-bikes and heavier electric and gas-powered mopeds, the announcement read. Our e-bike trade-in program is a win-win for delivery workers and safer communities. Yeah, that's a great win-win. Hey, can you lift that law so that way people can actually work at NYC? That'd be great. A spat of e-bike fires hit the city in recent years. Lithium-ion batteries used in e-bikes have started 733 fires since 2019, killing 29 New Yorkers and injuring 442 more, according to a New York City press release. Okay, I know this is gonna sound insensitive. More than one is already too much, but that's not so bad. Like when they said lithium ion batteries have caused like 733 fires, I thought they were gonna be like, that happened in the last year and they would still seem underwhelming. But it's 2025, and even if it's the beginning of 2025, like the end of 2024, that's like 5 years. That's still not a lot. I feel like there's a stretch happening here in terms of like this being an actual safety issue that has been consistent. It's really just sporadic at best. That said, you should take care of your shit so that way things don't combust, but it is what it is. In announcing the program in early July, Adams said the program would help save lives. Too often, those bikes are powered by unsafe, uncertified batteries that at any minute could combust, Adams said. That's why we are doing everything in our power to put a stop to these deadly fires and make use of safe lithium-ion batteries more affordable. You know, I feel like there is a lot of things that their time could be better spent on, like making a law for gig workers that actually makes sense and not just trying to spend money on bikes. Like $2 million doesn't seem like a lot, but I feel like that could be spent on something else to make a better law or something. This is just bullshit. So while essentially a safety issue, the trade-ins would also benefit immigrant workers at a time when President Donald Trump is cracking down on undocumented individuals. There are over 65,000 delivery workers in NYC, many of whom are immigrants, according to city estimates. Okay, that literally proved my point 1,000 times over. Many of whom are immigrants. That doesn't necessarily mean they're illegal immigrants. That's first off. Second off, way to make this a political issue right off the bat. Tell me this is a nonsense program without telling me. While it is not clear how many of them are undocumented, an estimate from the Center for Migration Studies pegs the number to at least 5,000. Okay. Then send them home. I feel like the remaining 60,000 that choose to stay in New York City, gig workers, would literally be thrilled at the idea that you are sending home 5,000 of their competition. Go ahead. Oh, we're not focusing on that because that's not the real issue here. You just want to pat yourself on the back for a nonsense program that is really just not really for us. It's for justifying your nonsense laws. That's what I thought. As such, the announcement of the program received immediate backlash, given it requires only proof of residency, not citizenship. So you're using taxpayer money to give illegals free bikes, one user said. Okay, first off, that kind of proves my point. Like, this is a nonsense program that literally does not need to be in place. If it's about 5,000 of those people, just send them home. Let the other gig workers handle those orders. I'm sure they'd be thrilled to do so, especially since your system screwed them over. But it's not about that, is it? How many taxpayer dollars are you wasting buying e-bikes for illegals who are making money off the books, asked another. First off, it's not off the books. It is 100% on the books. Second, how many taxpayer dollars are they wasting? They literally said it, $2 million. However, the program, while getting pushback from the anti-immigrant right, also got flack from the progressive left, deeming it a handout to big delivery apps who benefit from drivers, often without accepting the costs and risks entailed. I get the desire for harm reduction here, but this is a subsidy to the delivery companies. They're the ones who should be responsible for their workers using safe equipment and the ones who should bear the cost if they don't, one user said. Here's the thing about that. We're independent contractors. We're supposed to have our own equipment anyway. I don't think it should be on either party. I think it should be on the party who's willing to invest into themselves to make more. That's it. Also, I like how this is not a actual political issue. They both have their own reasons. Like, left has their reasons, right has their reasons. But right now, it's the United States of fuck this program. So NYC taxpayers are getting this stuck up their ass too. Who authorized this? Why aren't the delivery service apps paying for this? Another asked. Tagging the official X account of Ydanis Rodriguez, commissioner of NYC's Department of Transportation. First off, holy crap, that first name is a nightmare. Second, the delivery app shouldn't be paying for this. And the NYC taxpayer shouldn't be paying for this either. It should be in the hands of the independent contractor who is committed to being in business for themselves. That's it. And people who treat it as otherwise shouldn't even be a part of the gig community. I'm sorry, it's just a fact. This is not your job. Food delivery apps like Grubhub and Seamless should be paying, replied another. It seems you are all okay with them maximizing their profits. I'm sorry, I just think it's funny that DoorDash is the biggest name in the game right now, and we're calling out Grubhub, who is pretty much a microcosm in the grand scheme of it all. I know Grubhub is so big in NYC, but really, we're calling out the smallest of the big three to pay for everything. What is that? What is that specifically? This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. I like how the Daily Dot is now not just covering TikTok conversations, but covering conversations that are genuinely big for all parties in the gig app community and the overall gig economy, because I think that's something that their platform as a publicist of any kind was missing. So good on them. We got to give credit where credit is due. Second, this program is nonsense. Like, it's cool that $2 million are going to about 400 people for new bikes, but I don't know if that's really about the 5,000 migrants or just people on delivery bikes specifically. It's not something that the $2 million should be invested into the gig economy. If you're going to invest any money into the gig economy, let's look into laws that actually make sense for gig workers. And every state's doing it in their own way. I know Seattle did their way. I know Colorado is working on other stuff, but it does need to be invested in a way that's actually going to help gig workers and not just give them a tool that they should have invested in themselves. And regardless of any of that, this is why we need to develop a diversified gig portfolio and develop an exit strategy. And also, you got to invest in yourselves in a way to where you're not completely dependent on gig work or any one gig app. You got to have a diversified gig portfolio. You got to have an exit strategy. Because if they're going to keep playing games with your money, what's going to happen when they start going into the laws and suddenly you're a W-2 employee, unhappy and financially unsafe? Remember, the gig economy is an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal, not the goal. You can't wait for somebody else to protect you financially. You got to do that yourself. You can't wait for the government to do the right thing. You gotta do it yourself. That is why you accomplish those things through the Driven Wyld Discord server. So it doesn't matter what the government does, you're financially protected. The Driven Wyld Discord community is exclusive for gig workers looking to expand their knowledge and expertise in their self-employment and entrepreneurial journeys. I partnered with high-level professionals to bring you some of the most exclusive benefits based on your personal needs as a gig worker. Exclusive professional opportunities and gig postings. More live streams with high-level professionals in our industry. Educational systems designed to help you build your own dispatch company and delivery service provider, as well as other scalable opportunities. Driven Wyld is also kicking off its dispatching and delivery service provider course for beginners, and we are absolutely changing the game and transforming how businesses serve customers and how gig workers get more opportunities. So whether you're a gig worker looking for more opportunities to earn or an exit strategy because the gig economy is an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal and not the goal, and you would like to see something with more growth potential, more scalability, there's something here for you. Check the link in the description and get started with making the most amount of money in the least amount of time and in the safest possible way. We are excited and looking forward to helping you secure your financial future. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.